Push to allow prison inmates to work for private companies for the first time in over a century. Thanks so much for joining us for News at 6. I'm Corey Chambers.
And I'm Tamsin Fidel. Well, the proposal would provide incarcerated New Yorkers the opportunity to gain private sector job skills.
Yeah, but prison reform advocates worry the inmates could be used as inexpensive labor. PIX11's Anna Harry is live for us at Foley Square with a rally that was underway. In fact, it's underway right now. Ayana.
Tamsin and Corey, the last time people incarcerated in New York State prisons worked for private companies, the year was 1894. The practice was outlawed after it was compared to Southern slavery. The men and women standing behind me want that practice to remain in the history books.
I work 40 hours.
Vidal Guzman knows about the work conditions inside New York State prisons firsthand.
I was making 16 cents an hour when I was incarcerated. Usually at the end of the week, I make probably $3.50.
Now a prison reform advocate. Tonight, Guzman is rallying against a new proposal from Governor Kathy Hochul, clearing the way for New Yorkers in prison to be employed by private companies.
In her executive budget, Governor Hochul proposed changing New York State's constitution to allow for private companies to contract incarcerate the labor of incarcerated people. And we find it really problematic.
Jacqueline Goswag-Panitz is a Legal Aid Society paralegal. She recently wrote an op-ed article sounding the alarm about the state's potential return to private prison labor, saying incarcerated people are not given the same workplace protections as other New Yorkers.
Over 31,000 people who are incarcerated in New York State are forced to work under the threat of punishment, which can include solitary confinement.
In laying out her budget priorities earlier this year, Governor Kathy Hochul proposed a jails to jobs plan, which would allow New Yorkers in prison to work for private companies. The jobs would be voluntary, wages would be competitive, and the governor's office stresses the plan would give incarcerated people critical job experience to prepare them for life after prison. But Donna Hilton is skeptical. She spent 27 years in New York State prison.
You're getting labor off the backs of people and feeling that it's okay.
More than a century ago, back in 1894, New York State banned the use of inmate labor for private gain.
It's called convict leasing.
Governor Hochul is now pushing for the jails to jobs plan as part of the ongoing state budget negotiations. A spokesperson for the governor's office tells PIX11 News, Governor Hochul's executive budget includes bold initiatives to embrace this once-in-a-generation opportunity to invest in our future. And we look forward to continuing to work with the legislature to finalize a budget that serves all New Yorkers. The legislation from the governor's office makes clear that it would be completely voluntary for incarcerated people to work for private companies. The governor's office also says that this legislation would not create any new revenue streams for the state. Reporting live from Foley Square in Lower Manhattan, Ayana Harry, PIX11 News.
Ayana, thank you.
All right. Well,